if I can put this up. So I'm just using the pen tool to outline this section here. And again, trying to make the curve with the least amount of points is what you're trying to accomplish. And Command plus lets me zoom in nice and close so I can see it. So when I look at this curve, I'm just going to arch this as best I can, not too far. And you can see the rubber banding of this point here. And again, Command minus lets me zoom out and click on this. So he has a lot of symbols, and for example, this whole curve, I can come all the way to the end of this and drag that so I'm not making any individual pieces. And like I said, he has a lot of symbols here, so I'm going to use the rectangle tool to try to do as many as I can here. Take a look, here's a plus sign. Why that's selected, I'll give it a color just so you can see them. And just, you can do it two ways. You can select it, go to Edit, Copy, and go to Edit, Paste in Place, puts it right on top of it, and just rotate it. And now I have the plus sign. Shift key these two together, and with the Pathfinder make one shape. I can take an option and drag this over here to duplicate it, and just rotate this with the Shift key. It'll go at 45-degree angles, and I can option and Shift to extend it a little bit larger. Okay, so just trying to take a few of those to be in that size. The other item is I can take the pen tool and find the center of this. I'll leave that situated just there. Take a look for the stroke palette, which is down here, and increase this stroke. Make sure I have it highlighted, and using the bracket key and then turning this on so it has this outside edge. I'm going to take the fill out, and that gives me this selection. Now it's just a path, so I'm going to go to Object, Path, and outline it. So now it becomes a shape. Shift X makes it look like the shape there. Take the direct selection tool, and now you can adjust different segments to it. So if it was supposed to be rounded off, I'll bring this down here. Just use the Reflect tool. If I just double click on Reflect, it brings up its palette, and just hit that piece and click OK. Free transform it down. Take the rectangle tool to make this shape. Zoom in a little bit so you can see it. If it's going to be straight or have the rounded edges to it, you can round that off as well, just by dragging this off. And that builds that piece. And again, if these are connected, I can shift key them, and it'll give the bounding box, which will let me rotate them across and make it a color. Take this one, and again, if it's going to be rounded, I'll just round that off, give it a different color, and move that down. This one's over here, so I'm just selecting it, putting the Option key down, double click the Reflect tool, click OK, and while they're still both selected, I can rotate them, place them in there, I can scale them, and that lets me put them right inside there. Same with this one, I can just Option and duplicate this. You can also just rotate it right up at the top and place that in there and scale it. So it gives me a little bit of the graphics coming around. So I'm just kind of randomly grabbing some colors just to show up the distance here. So he's got a lot of them. I'll do the star. When you go in the Shape tool, there's a star tool. And when you use this, with the Option centered out or let go, it'll be an obtuse piece, and the Command allows you to change the keystroke on that. So that makes it pretty easy. Here's the side. And I'm just going to make this straight at first and use the Ellipse tool. And then copy this just with the Option and duplicate it down here. And just Shift key all three of these together. Now to keep them aligned, there's the line tool up here to make them straighter up that way. I can group them so that they stay together. And keep in mind your colors, your color palette, you can choose all these different options. Getting into all this calculus. So here's the plus sign. So I'm going to take this one, just option, and put a copy of it over here. And stretch this out a little bit. Shift key these together, align them, and then use the Pathfinder to make them one shape. And then skew it down a little bit. Place that in there. Steal this guy for the percentage down here. Rotate this a little bit. It's got the parentheses and the square root. So this I'm just going to follow down the middle and curve it a little bit. Take the selection tool, use the thickness of the pen here. I'll go to Object Path and outline that stroke. Go Shift X just so you can see that right there. So that becomes this piece. Let me do that one again. So the pen tool, and select it, make it a little bit thicker, and go to Object Path. I hit offset instead of outline. So there you go. So that becomes this shape. And just exit across, whoops, for that one. So you can see there's a lot of functionality that you can do with this part. Make sure that's an elliptical shape. And selecting the both of them, making them vertical and grouping that together. And here's the a lot of ways that you can do this one. You can do an elliptical shape to get the piece and make it just a path. And I'm going to take another shape and just to show a different way to do it. So now these are actually two shapes on top of each other. Let's see if this will work here. That'll give you that piece. That's probably not the easiest way. The easiest way would just be to draw the shape with the pen tool. So here it is, starting it. And here's the stroke. And a little end cap. And Object Path, outline the stroke. That gives you that shape. Just option and duplicate it over. Option duplicates it if you remember. Rotating this around. Shift keying that piece, giving that color. Let's see, this one's going to be an equal sign with a little extension. So I'll shift key those. And object. Let's see. We'll keep that as that one. Come up here. He's got the wizardry here. Just taking this. Keep in mind this has corners and curves that you can add to it. Object Path, outline that stroke. That gives you that section. So all these little symbols that he has, you can create. This part below it, make it a dark blue or something like that. We'll give that piece, hiding this background, the Tab key. Command plus to zoom in. Command Shift 4 is going to give you that screenshot.